How do we best access or heal the wounded inner child? Acknowledgement, first of all. If we take the system of the chakras for a second, and I don't talk about this often, but there is some reality to this. There is reality to these um, different spectrums of light, of the full spectrum of white light. There is these seven spectrums that we, as an individuation, are emanating, are created out of and as. So experiences are always filtered through first survival, or what you could call the first chakra, then um, a personal identity, then our relationship with the world and other people, or the third, um, then through love and the expansion of understanding or compassion, then through authentic expression and the emerging of wisdom, then through the center of unity and light, and then ultimately through universal oneness, or seeing the cosmic unity of it all. So basically every experience that you encounter, like let's say that someone, this is why people can get scared when you walk around a corner and you're like, "Huh!" and you're like, oh fuck. Even if they're really conscious, um, they might still have that initial reaction because it goes so fast that there's no time really for it to go through the other chakras yet. So what happens is that the first thing that comes up is survival. So adrenaline kicks in, right? So when someone scares you, this is exactly what happens. You're filtering the experience through the first chakra, and that is so intense that it's so obvious that someone scared you. Now, but this happens all the time. If someone says, "I don't really like this cocktail you made for me," something stupid like that, it goes through survival first, then it goes through personal identity, then it goes through who you are in relationship to the other people, and then if all that is acknowledged and accepted and you feel love for self throughout all these stages of the experience being filtered, then it has a chance to enter into the heart stage, which is the green ray, or that of unconditional love. And now this is where the transformation and the healing of separative experiences happens. This is where you start to hook back into your greater self. This is the platform. This is the bridge between the lower self and the higher self. This is the meeting point. So let's say someone says, "I don't like this cocktail you made me." The first experience might be like, "Oh, am I safe?" You might not even register this thought, but this happens all the time. Am I safe? Is this okay? Okay, this is okay. I'm safe. Nothing is happening. So you've acknowledged it. You've acknowledged the safety issues, um, and you've healed it through acceptance, through okayness, basically. Ah, yes, it's okay. All right, good. Then it moves on. And this goes quicker than I'm saying it now, usually, in most cases. Unless it's stuck at a certain level, then it will never get to the next stage fully because the energy is too distorted to even rise up further. But assuming that, okay, yes, someone didn't like my cocktail that I made for them with great love, but I'm still safe. However, what does this mean about me as a person? What does this mean about my worthiness, or maybe my masculinity, my sexuality? I, dude, made this loving cocktail for this girl that I'm courting, and she doesn't like this. What does that have to say about me as a personal, as a male, as a sexuality, as an individual, as a being? I might start feeling really insecure. I might start feeling guilty, or I might start feeling inadequate. Okay, this is usually the second stage, and through that inadequacy, I might suppress my sexuality, or I might suppress my passion in some way. I might get blocked there a little bit. Assuming that I'm accepting of that and I realize that, hey, this is their perception, has nothing to do with me. I can choose to define this in whatever way I see fit. And what do I prefer? I prefer to still feel really confident. I prefer to continue my confidence and not care about the circumstances. Now, this has to be genuine. It cannot be a suppression. You have to really be able to take that energy and transform it into confidence. And by seeing that it's all good, it's all okay. So again, the okayness comes in. Now, if the experience is filtered through the first one and survival is okayed, okay, then it goes to the second one, personal identity, value, self-worth, etc. It's okay. The threat was an illusion. I see through the illusion. It's okay. So now you've okayed the second stage. Now we'll move on to the third stage. Well, who am I in relationship to other people? What will they think of me? How do I need to fix myself? How can I be a better person? Let's see what else. It's basically a more sophisticated sense of the second stage, but it comes with a lot of other people involved. Like, who am I in society's eyes? How have I accomplished this? It's basically the center of what we would perceive as ego, as the pinnacle of like a self standing up for itself and trying to fix everything and trying to show up in a certain way and trying to distort other people's thoughts of them so they feel better. If it's imbalanced, okay, if it's negatively balanced, so to speak. So, or not balanced, basically. But saying that it comes through that rush of like, oh, what will other people think of me? What do I need to do right now? I feel insecure in relationship to other people. If that is okayed as well, if that is accepted as well, now one finds ease and acceptance with that experience. So basically, the first three chakras are all about okayness, okay? And this is why these teachings are so popular. These sort of self-pitying teachings, at times, it can turn into that of self-acceptance and mindfulness and oh, you got to accept yourself. Don't like try to create good stuff for yourself. Don't try to envision an amazing planet. Just like accept what is. Those boring fucking teachings, they are really important. They are really important. I know I'm speaking in paradoxes, but that's because both are true. Okay, they are really boring at some point, but they do have a crucial foundation that needs to be honored. But they should not be idolized as the highest teachings because they're not. They're the foundation. And in a way, the foundation is the most important. So in that way, they are the highest teachings. But you also need to have the vision big enough to move beyond that at some point. And okay, these experiences, everyday life experiences that get filtered through the lower mind experiences of these lower three chakras or centers of consciousness or rays of energy, balance these out. Come to self-acceptance, come to self-love, including the childhood trauma when that gets triggered. And that is imprinted in those lower chakras, so that will flare up. So if someone says something that you don't like, if something traumatic happened as a kid, that trauma will somehow influence the energy distortion at that level, and it will reply. It will reply in terms of stress. It will reply in terms of feeling inadequate and like you need to defend yourself. It will reply in terms of feeling endangered and threatened and feeling like perhaps you need to stand up for yourself or flee or run away or be scared. But assuming that more and more throughout everyday life, you can accept the self and the inner child by finding okayness with these experiences and easing these chakras by over and over again, relaxing for 2 to 5 seconds and seeing the inherent, innate perfection of light. Everything is light. Everything is love. Trauma is love. Trauma is life. Perpetrators are love. Perpetrators are light. It's all okay. You're safe. You're universally, fundamentally, eternally safe. If you can bring this safety, this feeling, this perspective of safety to those experiences when they get filtered in their initial stages of survival, personal identity, and relationship to others or society, then that can relax and the foundation can start to become transparent and clear up itself so that now these experiences, the energy of any experience can start to actually reach into the center of the heart and be filtered through or understood from or learned from at a level of learning unconditional love, learning expansion. Now everyday experiences are learned from the levels of unconditional love, authentic expression and wisdom, unity, and infinite cosmic unity, or by unity here I mean like unity of love and wisdom, unity of, it's like a completion experience of seeing the whole individual in its proper light, seeing the light behind it all, and then cosmic totality and unity. So now these chakras can start to actually apply their consciousness to everyday life experiences. So imagine not just learning from a single meditation or awakening experience, but learning from every interaction you have with every single person and engaging and learning at it from that level.